fall again. I have been thinking about everything we left unsaid. I know I probably didn't do it like the rest. God, it feels like these past 2 years been nothing but a death.
Like father, like son, right? Do you think Diana died for that? Makes my butt itch. Welcome to the Thursday podcast, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And a lot of you have been subscribing because we are already at 26,000. Thank you. We'll probably end the month on 30,000. I actually figured out that if I was to grow by about 500 a day, I would get to like 10K in like 5 or 6 months, which is insane. Now, I do expect a little bit of a slowdown after the success of Sussex September and the excitement of Sussex September. But nonetheless, thank you, all of you who have been streaming through and helping the channel to grow. I appreciate it. Please do share it around. Let everyone know that we are here. We are the Sussex Squad, and we are here for Harry and Meghan and the truth and giving more balance to this royal news space that now actually I think has gone beyond the royals and into other social, political, and economic issues. We are definitely going to get into some of that today, as yes, the big news, Rupert Murdoch stepping down, and Rupert Murdoch has been a thorn in our spine because of the way his media conglomerate consistently bullies Harry and Meghan and props up the other royals. We'll get into all of that today. Thank you everyone for joining us. All right. Still very much on the Invictus high, I feel like. I haven't let it go yet. Holding on to it for as long as possible because I'm sure we'll see more stuff from Harry and Meghan throughout the rest of the year, but we won't see them as much as we've seen them in the last week, I think, in this capacity for some time. Rita Ora posting her picture that she took with our fave couple and with Sam Ryder before they hit the stage for the Invictus closing. Over on Trash News, aka GB News, Megyn Kelly, this other Meghan Markle hater of our Duchess, she was on Dan Wooten's show. And she went on a rant about how she was sick of conservatives online trying to defend Dan Wooten's actions. Mind you, this is the Megyn Kelly who was on Fox News. Fox News, who was run by the notorious Roger Ailes. Fox News that regularly spews out anti-woman, misogynistic rhetoric all of the time. And it is that type of rhetoric that causes a culture of misogyny where victims and women aren't believed. She was ranting, by the way. This was in relation to the allegations towards Russell Brand. That's what she was saying. I'm sick of conservatives online trying to defend, his actions and actions like people like him. And she's saying this on Dan Wooten's show. Now, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, was this some kind of underhanded dig from Megyn Kelly saying this to Dan Wooten? Because surely she's read the allegations. Why is she then coming on this show to rant about an abusive man like Russell Brand when she's coming on Dan Wooten's show?" So it was just a very weird segment. Dan Wooten himself did seem rather uncomfortable on this, but Megyn Kelly, I think one protests a little bit too much because you were on a network that fed into um, this culture where victims aren't believed, only to actually become a victim herself or come out as a victim herself because of what she went through at Fox. And today, GB News has come out and said that they are monitoring allegations. Basically, they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. They're probably not going to do anything. I reckon that this has just been put out into the news because a lot of people are asking, well, if you're concentrating so much on Russell Brand, why has there been such silence surrounding Dan Wooten? Complete silence. The only reporting that the media have done on this is Wooten's response to the allegations. Otherwise, it's really just Byline Times and a little bit from The Guardian. That's all the reporting that's been done on this. And one of Wooten's victims has basically come out and said that coming out about it was the worst thing he ever did. Because clearly that tells you that the authorities are doing nothing. So who is telling the authorities to do nothing? Who is protecting Dan Wooten and who is protecting themselves? And just on Russell Brand, if anybody doubted that this man was guilty, this is what he posted back in July 2010. After 3 years of free orgasms, a chance for teenagers to give me something back. Vote here. This was in relation to him being nominated for a Teen Choice Awards back in 2010. And this is just one of many tweets that people have dug up, like so many videos going back like a decade or two of him just saying really, really creepy things. I saw one where he was on a show with a television presenter and he said to her, "Oh, I would love to have you and your daughter," or something like that. Just being very, very creepy. And so many women have come forward. Other women have come forward saying that they were warned by other people in the industry to not get too cozy with him. I hope he goes down. Make an example of him. Like, yeah, just make an example of him because it's about time that we had more accountability for abusive men like this. Right. In other news, with Rupert Murdoch, yes, he has now officially stepped down. Following a career that began 70 years ago in 1954, Fox Corporation announced today that Rupert Murdoch is stepping down as chairman of each board effective as of the upcoming annual general meeting of shareholders to each company in mid-November. Mr. Murdoch will be appointed chairman of each company following the annual general meetings. Lachlan Murdoch will become sole chair of News Corp and continue as executive chair and executive officer of Fox Corporation. So I'm assuming that's one of his Lachlan. Is that one of his sons? On behalf of the Fox and News Corporation of directors, all of the shareholders have benefited from his hard work. Blah 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 blah. Basically, ding dong, the witch is gone. But obviously, his family members are going to take over. And I think really it's just more to do with his old age. I mean, the guy is what, 96? He's about to go very soon. And I don't think that this is going to change the culture at Fox. I think it's going to stay exactly the same. I think that they do still very much have a long game. They may be tanking in terms of their print, but online and also with TV media and online media like video, I think that they've got a strong focus on that, obviously, with Talk TV and GB News. Now, following all of this, there was today a podcast that got put out. Actually, I don't think it was it today or earlier this week? Yeah, earlier this week, Tortoise, which is an indie news outlet, they did a podcast called William and Murdoch, the Prince and the Press Baron. And they actually do a deep dive into the situation where Murdoch gave William a payout of around about a million. And people are theorizing that that actually went to the Royal Foundation's accounts. So the Royal Foundation's accounts show an unnamed donor providing 750k to Earthshot and 350 to Early Years, which is Kate's thing that she's doing with baby's brains, which matches the settlement Prince William got from Murdoch. It was a lie that it was given to Invictus. Yeah, that was another thing that they tried to do. They tried to lie and say that it was given to the Endeavour Fund, and that was just obviously a lie. Truth comes out as always with these things, and it is just very uncomfortable that William is so buddy with Murdoch and his corporation, but he wants to make sure that his ducks are in order for when he becomes king. That's if he becomes king. Because the way things are going right now, I don't know. And the Murdoch spin doctors have still been at work. This is just in the last 24 hours or so. GB News, 3 different articles about Harry and Meghan. One saying about Kate trying to fight back against Harry. Fight back how? They're all the way over in Montecito. One on Sky News Australia. Neighbours cannot wait for Meghan to leave Montecito. Another one on GOTV. Prince Harry is separating from Meghan. Harry relegated to sidekick. I mean, they're just churning this stuff out. And it's like Harry said, they are frightened of losing control. But of all the headlines that have come out in the last week or so, this has definitely got to be my favorite. I mean, this is better than any Wattpad fan fiction that I have ever read. William the Hunk is back. Prince of Wales earns new legion of admirers as he wades through water and dons a baseball hat on Charm Offensive of America as fans say his status as a reborn S symbol is complete. Which fans are these? Because there was no one here when he was digging for oysters. There is one video of him on the streets of New York, and there is a crowd. But a lot of people were saying that they were just students and tourists. But I think generally this visit has been a bit of a fizzle and a pop. Didn't make any of the front page. These are all of the front pages, by the way. So you can see that Kate actually got 3. And William the Statesman got absolutely none. And I've said this before, like, Kate on her own still sells. William, I just don't think he can carry on his own. And it's been proven here by who they've chosen to put on the cover. The Sun, the Daily Telegraph, and the Daily Express, all choosing to go with the picture of Kate because they know what sells. And that, I'm sure, is not going to go down very well in the palace when William gets home. Because as we know, for them, it's who makes the cover of the newspapers, not who makes the most impact, Who does the best work is who just gets the front covers. Right. We'll go to your comments before we get on to the next thing. Yeah, William the hunk, y'all. Listen, he's sexy to someone. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I just hope the beholder has gone to Specsavers. Rochelle, Rupert stepped down because a new lawsuit was filed yesterday by New York Pension Fund for 800,000 employees. Oh, okay. I have to dig into that, Rochelle. That's interesting. Lorna, you said, I don't expect much change when his son Lachlan takes over. I expect Murdoch to keep his bony fingers on the head of his son. Yeah, I think so too. I think one of his sons is has come to the light side, decided to do Jedi training. He's actually on the same board as one of the projects that Harry's working on. I think it's is it James? And I think him and James actually, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think he actually spoke to Harry. But it's the other kids that are have stayed on the dark side. Outside of perspective. So what has Kate done with the early years money? That is a good darn question. 350K to do what was effectively a glorified Google survey. 5 big questions. You didn't need 350K to do that. That's a good question. What have they done with the money? And there's still millions that have gone accounted for Earthflop. Janita Smith, I think that when Charles passes away, there will be no more monarchy. Well, let's just think about this, right? At best, Charles has maybe 20 to 30 years left on the throne. When you look at what's going on in the United Kingdom right now, the level of corruption, the breaking apart of public services, the privatizing of public services, the insane cost of living that I don't see that going down anytime soon. By the time that we get to William's clowning, I don't think that there will be any patience for such a grand ceremony. And I think that if they want to continue the monarchy, by the time it gets to William, they will do themselves a favor by having just a small handover. If they want to keep this charade going and they don't want backlash and they don't want protests, just do something small at the town hall. I think maybe then if they actually just humbled themselves and scaled down, I think you could still have a monarchy. If they are going to continue with these big shows of pomp and pageantry, then I think they're putting themselves in trouble. But knowing William and knowing his ego, I can imagine that he wants a huge clowning. Yeah, it's the battle is entirely one-sided. I mean, Harry and Meghan now have the whole military community surrounding them. They need to just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Leave Harry and his wife and his family alone. Rochelle, and that settlement doesn't speak of what was paid out to Randy Andy, Sarah Edward, and Ford Fiesta. Well, I don't know about Sarah Edward and Ford Fiesta, but certainly Randy Andy, yeah. That is true, Lilo. It's very much character assassination. Say it enough times, even if it's a lie, it becomes the truth. Yes, you do need to go to Specsavers. Ah, beauty in the eye of the beholders, folks. Okay, let's go on to the next thing. Some people, however, are definitely not feeling some of William's moves this week in New York. These were the comments on. So this photo is actually part of a carousel that was on the William and Kate's Instagram, and one of the pictures was a picture of Bill Gates, and these are the comments. And I scrolled down. 90% of the comments were like this: "Not a good move meeting Bill Gates. How disappointing to the Prince of Bill Gates. You lost me at Bill Gates. No, stay away from Bill Gates." Now, Bill Gates has come under attack for many, many different reasons from both sides of the political aisle. I'm not going to go into that too much because it's just way too controversial. But one of the reasons is because of his connections with Epstein and the fact that he actually got involved with Epstein after Epstein's conviction. And so people were just ripping William apart in the comment section and saying why. Mind you, this is a series of many. There were many people there. It wasn't just Bill Gates who was there, but this did not go down well on William and Kate's Instagram page at all. I can imagine there were quite a few unfollows after that. Also, on William's trip, he was scheduled momentarily to meet Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, and then it very quickly went off his schedule. Now, representatives for Adams did not immediately respond to a request for comment about why Adams' appearance with William was so quickly scheduled and then cancelled. Maybe it's no great loss. If we had to pick one royal to watch Adams pal around with, it would be Prince Harry. And you know what? Eric Adams probably realized that as well. I think that there was probably a quick call. Do you know what I think? This is my theory. I'm not saying that this is true. This is just my crazy theory. I think that they tried to call his office and force a meeting in there very, very last minute, because typically these things would actually be scheduled way before. And I think maybe they just wanted to pressure him into a meeting. And then he was like, no, I'm having none of this. Because number one, what would I be meeting you for? What is the purpose of this? Number two, the last time any royal was in New York, it was Harry and Meghan being chased through the streets by paparazzi. And Eric Adams misspoke about what happened. He, instead of just saying, listen, I don't have all the details, investigation still going on, he misspoke and made it sound like the idea of Harry and Meghan being chased through New York was absolutely crazy, thus creating a storm of misinformation. And I think he probably just thought, I'm having none of this, because that investigation is probably still ongoing. And I can't imagine that William would want to do anything other than just gossip. What would he be meeting Eric Adams for? He would just gossip or get a picture with Eric Adams to be intimidating, knowing what happened in New York. Funnily enough, though, later on that night, Eric Adams went and partied with Aoki Lee Simmons and Kimora Lee Simmons. Aoki is a big fan of Meghan and has been very outspoken in support of her. So Eric was probably like, you know what? I need time to wash my hair before the party with Kimora. I'm not going to bother with William. I ain't bothering with Prince William. I want to go party with Kimora and Aoki. And another strange thing which happened when William was in New York, there was this weird article that came out about Prince William going jogging in Central Park and that nobody noticed. This is someone who you never even see jogging on the daily when he's in the UK. And this strange story came out after it was reported that there was a run in Central Park in connection with the Denmark's delegation for the UN Security Council. The Crown Prince participates in a morning run in Central Park together with UN Ambassadors Running Club. Well, why wouldn't William have just gone and joined them? I don't know, maybe he wasn't invited, but I just thought it was very weird that there was just suddenly this article about Prince William jogging in Central Park and no one noticed. But then who wrote the article? Um, very strange. Very strange. Okay, we'll get your comments before we go on to the next thing. Helen, you said King Charles is 75 in November. I think he's got at least 15 years as monarch. Yeah, 15, 20 years. Willie will be another 70-something-year-old man who just got his first job. And you know, part of the allure, I think, with the Queen was that she came into power so young and so beautiful looking. And you've had Charles come in and Camilla, who don't really inspire that level of glamour and pizzazz. And then it's going to be the same with William and Rose. When William and Rose are crowned king and queen. Yeah, it's actually Joan Hickey. How was William jogging incognito? If we all know. Oh, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Monte Cristo, well, considering how poorly Kate's parents ran that party supplies business, I say start there. Kate probably carried payroll for a bit. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. And there are still small business owners who were screwed over by that. Yes, Lola Love, that's also true. Both Bill Gates and Michael Bloomberg are financial backers of Earthshot. However, so is Rupert Murdoch. He's been pouring money into it as well, and yet a lot of his papers put out, anti-climate change rhetoric, which is highly questionable. But of course, just taking money from Rupert Murdoch is highly questionable. Monte Cristo, another separation in that family. So, what are you referring to? Are you referring to William and Kate? Yeah, and whole. A lot of it was just photo ops. Look, here I am with this powerful person. uh, Monte Cristo, you said a lot of people's opinion Bill Gates is kind of creepy. Well, there's all kinds of rumors about why his wife divorced him, and yeah, we won't get into that. Well, thank you to Kathy G for being a member for 20 months. Thank you. Yes, Sussex September has been fantastic. And Deborah Copeland, thank you so much for the super chat. You said love your content. Thanks for what you do. And thank you for joining me and supporting. Appreciate it. Yeah, I was fine yesterday, by the way. I was just so exhausted that I just couldn't bring myself to do a podcast. Doing it on the daily, it does take it out of you. All right. Next thing. Oh, no, Sophie and Edward. Yeah, there's been rumors, again, just rumors, that she hasn't been wearing her wedding ring. That they've been doing. I mean, Edward has been doing some appearances that the UK media has not paid attention to at all. um, but he has been doing appearances, but on his own. So that's why there's rumors about that, but just rumors. And that, yeah, apparently they're living apart. Nothing I can confirm. Okay, last but not least, the grand finale. Charles and Camilla. Charles and Camilla rode up to France, and as all of us do when we go on vacation, Charles took his Bentley. Yes, they took their Bentley, which was transported from the UK to France, as we all do. We all take our Bentleys and our Lamborghinis when we're going for a short weekend in Paris. Now, of course, they were meant to go to France right after Charles's coronation. That never happened because the French were protesting about, I think it was about the age of retirement and pension plans and payments and conditions of working and all that stuff. So that got cancelled. So they've rescheduled, and the trip has happened this week. And here you go. Here are the pictures of French people's taxpayer money. I did not expect a parade. This was quite a surprise to me. I thought that they would just meet, have a state dinner, take some pictures, and keep it moving. They actually had a whole parade with motorcades, and Macron and Charles were up through the roof waving at the crowd. I actually haven't seen any type of parade like this. I mean, this almost looks like an American president inauguration. Why are they doing all of this just for Charles? I mean, this is France, a country that literally beheaded its own royals, that is going through serious economic issues right now. It's not even a Commonwealth country. Not that I want them to bring this mess to the Commonwealth, but why all of this for France? And yes, I know that they have, backdoor conversations and things like that, but why the parade? I don't understand. I don't understand all of this fuss. For what? Nobody asked for this. This is not going to be useful to anybody in any way at all in France, other than spending taxpayers' money. A lot of money to spend. Also, Camilla Wardior, which this is actually probably the most decent I've ever seen her look. For once, she just doesn't look completely disheveled. What's interesting is that Dior actually tweeted about this. Quite a few of the designers that she's been wearing have tweeted about the clothes. But if you remember, back when Meghan was a royal, working royal, you had the palace telling designers to delete the posts because they didn't want anyone knowing which designers she was wearing, because obviously people would buy the clothes. Oy. Yeah, here we are, getting what she wanted, and in Paris as well. Like, what do you even say to this? What do you even say? Horrific. Absolutely horrific. And Charles, well, after all of that, the whole affair, the whole drama, the whole nation having to be dragged into this affair and divorce, and when it all comes down to it, you got what you wanted, you even got to marry her, and you can't even help her downstairs. Don't they usually put weights in the coats so they don't fly around like that? My gosh. All right, folks. I think that is all I had to say today. Thank you so much for joining me. And please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe on your way out if you haven't already. Sheila, all that money for Earth Flop and he's still not doing anything sad. The thing is, I don't know, maybe the winners who have got the money, I'm presuming they're doing something with that money. So I mean, I don't want to write it off completely just because it's William, but they just don't do enough to raise long-term awareness about how that is impacting. About how that money is creating impact for the projects, and I don't care to follow it up. But if it is actually doing something useful, then fine. Kathy G, Camilla decent is everybody else's bad day. Oh, you all. A drunken Martha, didn't Megan wear that dress style? Yeah, she wore something similar in Morocco, which was also Dior, but it was white. But apparently there's no other designers that Camilla can wear other than designers that Megan wears a lot and that Diana wore a lot. Those are the only designers apparently that Camilla can wear. Olivia Johnson, I think she had plastic surgery. No, I don't think she had plastic surgery. I think the picture that you're looking at right now, I think it's the way the flashes on these cameras come out sometimes actually give you a little bit of a filter. And they do also sometimes edit, like do like a quick auto edit on the photos. Because I've seen other photos that are a lot more close up, and I'm telling you now, it doesn't look like she's had plastic surgery. So no, I think it's just the way the photo was taken and her makeup. But if you look at other photos taken like when she's like in the pink on the same day, baby, you can tell she hasn't had surgery. Yeah, I think. Sorry, I've missed who said it, but yeah, I agree with the person who said that Charles and Macron have some sort of backdoor deal going. Star. Apparently, the comments under Dior's tweet about Camilla is brutal. Yes, Diana stands weren't having it. They just weren't having it today. Because how dare you? Diana forever. Judy, come on an international stage. Oh. Mandy, and that's why you wear seam weights. Do you know what? The coat didn't actually lift up too fast, so there's probably seam weights in there. But the wind was just so strong. The wind was being carried by Karma itself. All right, let's just get through some of your last comments and then we'll call it a day. Lila, you said that lets us know that not only she trolled Diana, but that she trolled Megan and treated her poorly too as well. Yeah, I think so. I think that Camilla was deeply jealous of Megan. Deeply jealous. All right, folks, that's gonna be all. Thank you so much for joining me as always. Hit that subscribe button on the way out. And wishing you fabulous rest of the day. It's almost Friday. Well, it's Friday where I am. And then it'll be the weekend. Yay for the weekend. Ciao.
asshole in this story, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. I literally can't stop thinking about it, and I feel like the moral is worth exposing myself. A couple years ago, I cringe followed someone. She did something weird, and I just wanted to like follow her and like see what this weird person was up. It was a mean-spirited follow, which, by the way, if you hate follow someone for any reason, like one psycho to another, like you need mental help. I needed mental help. I mean, I would never like comment anything mean, but I just like would observe what she would do and then like silently be like, what a weirdo. I'm so humiliated to even admit that, but whatever. The years have progressed and I have like gained sanity. I stopped doing that shit. I unfollowed her. I moved on with my life. That was about like 4 years ago. Have not thought about this person, have not seen this person. The other day, I randomly thought to look her up, and holy fucking shit. One of the reasons why I cringe followed her was because she would post with just this unearned confidence. Again, I'm not this person anymore, so I can see objectively how psychotic it is to like look at someone and be like, you do not deserve to walk around thinking that you're the shit. Like, I was not well. Anyway, she would post like fashion content like she was the shit. She would talk about like beauty and fitness, and she would talk about how much money she was gonna have one. Me being a mean-spirited psychotic bitch was like, the point is, I looked her up years later, not even that many years later, like maybe 4 years later. My jaw literally dropped because this random girl did literally all of it and more. She looks like a actually completely different person. I have never in my 26 years of life seen a glow up like this. I swear to God. Head to toe transformed. It's not just the way she looks. She got rich as fuck. She got married. She had a baby. She has the best sense of fashion. She has the best taste in luxury beauty. It was the most humbling thing I've ever experienced, because I had to spend those 4 years correcting like basic human flaws within me, like being a psycho bitch hater. She was spending her time doing the thing, living her life, chasing her dreams. On the other side of those 4 years, I'm at my lowest low and she's fucking thriving. Unfortunately, the moral of that story, and I'm on the wrong side of history with it, is if you think that if you start a business, people are going to judge you, people are going to not believe you, they're not going to see your vision. If you're posting on social media and they think it's cringe, they might think it's cringe, but on the other side of that, like, I'm so embarrassed to be me right now in this story. I'm embarrassed to have ever acted that way at any point, but especially just seeing it play out, how like being in her own lane and like having confidence in herself like paid off. Like, I'm telling you guys, I have not stopped consuming her content for days. Just like I cannot get enough of. She is so beautiful, so confident, living her dream. You might have hater ass bitches, but they will end up where they belong, and you will end up where you belong. So do your thing.